So IGN is getting a little bit of heat today, and that's because of this article, the Resident Evil game that can't be remade. Now, what game are they talking about? They're talking about Resident Evil 5. Resident Evil 5 is a game that constantly gets brought up in the remake conversation, not by gamers, not by fans, not by normies, regular people. No, game journalists constantly bring this game up. They consider Resident Evil 5 to be some horrible game of hate, and that's why this article's out there. And they say it's time to rewrite, not remake. Why is that? Well, of course, that's because they call Resident Evil 5 racist, and we're going to get into that part of the article in a second. But before we do, I want to show you something, because that is the reason why they don't like this game. They say it's racist. Why? Because Resident Evil 5 takes place in Africa, and they don't like that. Everybody that you shoot in a video game needs to be white mans. That's it. You know, on that end, they don't like the diversity. So this game can't be remade. It's dumb. There's nothing. Well, you know, this game, I actually don't hate Resident Evil 5. Resident Evil 6 I don't like. Resident Evil 5 is actually a fun co-op game. At least I had fun playing it with a friend. Is it the best Resident Evil? No, not by a long shot. But they need to go into Resident Evil 5 if they're going to keep doing this, and I think they will. The question I have is, will Capcom actually make the game and remake it right and in the vein of a Resident Evil 4 or 2 or 3? Even 3 was the weakest of the remakes. But so they put this article out. Twitter came for him, which I found funny. Once again, community notes for the win. So they put this out here. Resident Evil 5 simply can't be remade, at least not to the standards of Capcom's best work. So the answer is not to remake, but to rewrite. And they got slapped with this. This article misconstrues the story of Resident Evil 5. IGN rated the original 9 out of 10, which I, of course, find hilarious because they did. IGN, this 9 out of 10. Amazing. And here's the other one. They turned the comments off the moment they dropped this article. Comments turned off. They of course got ratioed in the quote tweets, but the comment here, who can reply? Only IGN mentioned accounts can reply. And of course they mentioned nobody. So they're getting dunked on for this because it was kind of stupid. And I think they know it was stupid. Did they turn comments off on the article? Yeah, there's no comments on the article. I always find it funny that the comments aren't on articles like this because that's the shit people really want to read. But they always turn the comments off. Never turn the comments off. Only pussies turn their comments off, to be honest. I've never turned comments off on anything. I don't think there's anything wrong with blocking idiots that are annoying, but don't turn the comments off. That's stupid. So here's what they had to say. Here's the real reason why it can't be remade, despite all the other shit they write in this article about apparently bad gameplay and stuff, even though they gave it a 9 out of 10. This is why the game can't be remade. Remakes can, of course, completely redefine the structure of the source material. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, for example, is recognizably an updated version of the classic RPG, but its world design and gameplay mechanics are a far world apart from 1997. And so you could argue that Resident Evil 5 is actually the Resident Evil most in need of a remake. A whole new environmental structure scenario design that reins in the action and dials up the horror would bring it in line with Capcom's other remakes, but all of this doesn't account for Resident Evil's most notorious problem: racism. Set in a fictional West African country, Resident Evil 5's primary antagonists are black people. What? In Africa? You're crazy. What? Maybe it should take place in South Africa. Even there, I think there's some stuff going on. But they position Resident Evil 5 as taking place in the Dark Continent. I don't remember them ever saying that. This is all words they're putting in the game's mouth, I think. And it needs, it's a world harboring a diseased population that needs gunning down via Western intervention in the name of global security. This insensitive treatment of people of color was hotly debated even as Resident Evil 5's debut trailer, with writers such as, I don't know who either of these people are, pointing out the game's uncomfortable post-colonial imagery. Well, why'd you give the game a 9 out of 10 then? You guys weren't debating it hotly. You said it's an amazing game. It exists. Go look at the article. That's a screenshot from their article. That's a real article. It exists. 9 out of 10. I'm surprised they haven't taken it down, actually, to be honest. But they're going to say in a post-BLM world, there is no acceptable response to a white man shooting waves of Africans for an entire video game. Remakes may not be able to redefine their source material, but there's only so many changes you can make until it's not a remake at all, but an entirely new game. And if you take Africa out of Resident Evil 5, is it Resident Evil 5 anymore? No. No, it is not. Why can't you make this game? I think that's so stupid. Most people don't care. It just takes place in there. It takes place in Africa. Okay? It's a video game. It's not real. But that's why they don't want this game remade. That's why. Because of where it takes place. What other games take place there? Like, this is something that not a lot of people would be doing. You'd have a game that takes place there. I really don't see the problem. I think most people are adults and know what it is. They're not saying that anybody is bad. It just takes place in Africa, and they have whatever. It's not the T virus, but they have whatever zombie virus this is to turn them into the radically different zombies or whatever. They're not like mindless zombies. They still have agency, like the stuff in Resident Evil 4. So it's a bioweapon. It's not like they're acting of their own accord. It's just so stupid. But that's where we're at now. That's why this game can't be remade. And if it does get announced, the meltdown over this game is going to be glorious. So anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comments below. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Make sure to check out my locals. There's a link in the description. It's a fun community that I'm trying to build over here. If you don't want to support me on YouTube, you can come over here. None of that money goes to YouTube. You also can just come over here for free. But if you are a supporter over here, I do plan on doing an extra live stream once a month and throwing links to the supporters so you can actually come on and have a supporter live stream with me. Also, it's a good place to catch all of my content. You don't have to worry about notifications like YouTube. They'll definitely work over here. So come check out my locals.